stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in a sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight, tell me you'll miss me. When I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear. Just craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear. Just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams and leave your worries behind you. And in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Dream a little dream of me. Yeah. That was your Mama Cass. That was, well, it wasn't your bloody Mama Cass, it was old Gert murdering it, but that was your Mama Cass. That song, Dream a Little Dream, was actually done originally by your Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. And your Mama Cass, she covered it. I think it was the first solo cover that she did, Dream a Little Dream. And I mean, I just thought I'd sing it because I fancied singing it. And I was thinking about your Mama Cass, because I don't know, I've often had a little think about your Mama Cass over the years, because I remember when she died when I was a little kid. Yes, I do. And I remember the summer of '69 and the Woodstock was on and everything. I mean, I was in a bloody convent with nuns, but I still kind of remember it. But I still kind of remember it. Yes, I do. And it come about that this week I was thinking about your Mama Cass. Because your poor old Mama Cass, well, she was born in Baltimore, in your America, she was. I think it was about 1941. It was 1941 in Baltimore. And she got herself around the place a bit, and she was a bit tasty and this, that and the other. And she went to high school. She went to the same high school, I do believe, at the same time as Jim Morrison. I mean, how's that for coincidence? Then she's got herself around the place and this, that and the other. They said in that song that Creek Alley, which is like an autobiographical sort of pop song about your mamas and your papas and how they evolved. And it says in there that she was going to go to this Swarthmore University, but they only put that because that rhymed with sophomore. She was actually going to go to University of New York or something or other, which was in Virginia or something at the time. And that's where she was with your Jim Morrison. So anyway, there she was, and she took up with this bloke. From what I can gather, and his name was Jimi Hendrix. Yes! And I know what you're thinking, Voodoo Viewers, because that's what I thought. I thought, fancy that! Being with your Jimi Hendrix, I bet he played the guitar and everything all along the Watchtower and Purple Haze and that. Oh yeah, I bet. But it weren't that Jimi Hendrix, was it? No, it wasn't, Voodoo Viewers. See? Catches you out, these people. No, it was another Jimi Hendrix. And he spelt his name different. Hendrix, all along the Watchtower, spelt it with an X on the end. And this Jim Hendrix, he spelled it like Ricks, R-I-C-K-S, Hendrix. So, she's took up with him. Nice looking lad he was. Yes, and another bloke what played the banjo. And they got themselves together and they called themselves the Big Three. And it was sort of like a folky pop type of thing. It was her first foray into the music industry, as it was sort of the early 60s. So, anyway, they started this Vietnam War business, what started to go on. And your Jim Hendrix, which I think she had a little bit of a pash with, he was going to get himself drafted. He was going to find his arse over in your Vietnam, over there with the Viet Cong people, communists all running after him. She said, no, she said, I'll tell you what we'll do, Jim. She said, we'll get married. So they got married. And she literally just married this guy, nothing in it, never had no look or nothing. I mean, she didn't even get she didn't get a pat on the bum for buy your leave off him, from what I could gather. No, it was purely platonic, apparently. I don't know whether maybe he was gay, I don't know. But anyway, so she married this Jim Hendrix, and she was married to him from 1963 to 1969, when I think she met some barren bloke that was I think he was a baron from Germany or something. Anyway, he was rich and he was a music journalist, so they got together. It's another story. But in between, she split up and Jimi Hendrix bloke. Well, he wasn't that Jimi Hendrix. He was another Jimi Hendrix. Her Jimi Hendrix. Him and her went off and started another band. And they started this band called the Mugwumps, which was, it was her, it was Hendrix, Denny Doherty, and I think it was Zal Janowski. I think it was him, but it might have been the other one, the John Sebastian, I'm not sure. Anyway, and they were in the Mugwumps, and they were basically folk and all this, that and the other they did. Yes, they went all over the place. They played, oh no, because after that, they all split up, and Zal Janowski, he went off with John Sebastian, did he? Yes, and they made the Loving Spoonful. And then your John Sebastian went off after that and did your Buffalo Springfield, which also Neil Young was in later on, and Stephen Stills, and then I think they nicked somebody out the Hollies or somebody out the Byrds, and they made this Crosby, Stills and Nash Carry On. But anyway, I digest. Back to your Mamas and Papas. They got themselves together with your John and Michelle Phillips, and they made the Mamas and Papas, and basically they were brilliant, and that was history. They played on the Sunset Strip in your Hollywood Boulevard or whatever it is. I don't even know where it is, but anyway, somewhere over there. And they were playing with the Whiskey Go-Go. They had a 6-week contract, and it really made them. And then they started going on all the night shows, the Saturday night shows, and selling lots of records and everything, this, that and the other. But I do remember they always used to say, oh, Mama Cass, she's fat and everything, like none of us have got eyes. It was always like, oh, she was fat, she's this, she's that, she's the other, blah, 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 blah. The woman could sing. She had a beautiful voice. Nobody cares what colour she was, what size she was. But would they let people forget? No, they bloody well wouldn't. Not even when she met her untimely death did they let anybody forget that your Mama Cass was a big girl. Oh, no account of her eating extraordinarily though. No, not like when you think back to those days and you think of, I don't know, groups like The Who or people like that had a bit of a reputation, like your Mick Jagger or somebody. You'd have accounts. You'd have accounts of, Keith Moon of your Who. Oh, he could drink. He used to drink champagne and ginger. He used to like brandy. He used to do this. He used to throw tellies out the window. Plenty of sort of evidential and anecdotal accounts. But it struck me there's no accounts out there of your Mama Cass being the glutton and everything that the tabloids and the media, and it was the legacy media, it was the media, made her out to be. No actual accounts of her getting herself busy down your all-you-can-eat buffet. Nothing really, and I had a good old look into it, I did. Yes! And then, do you know what I did? I thought, well, this is very odd. Gert, Rude, you need to be giving this a bit of an appraisal here, you do, because I think history has misjudged this lady. Yes, I think they've really misjudged her, and I think they've slandered her. That's what I do. And I think history needs to be revisited when it comes to your Mama Cass, I do. Yes, I do. Because I'll tell you another thing what I found really interesting. Her mum was a nurse, and she had a brother and sister, and I had a good look around, and do you know, for no apparent reason, they were all completely normal sizes. So what we've got to suppose is in your post-war America, she was born in 41, survived 48 as post-war. Her mum was coming home every night from work as being a nurse and feeding the old family one set of food, and then obviously feeding your little Cass Elliot a different set of food. Oh, and by the way, her name wasn't Cass Elliot, that was her stage name. Her real name was Ellen Cohen. A Jewish family, Russian Jews. I mean, those mothers couldn't cook. But even so, there was no reason why, as in her own words, she said by the age of 7, she was overweight. And I got very suspicious, because her siblings weren't overweight, and her mum and dad weren't overweight. So what were they doing? Were they feeding her up special? Very, very odd. And I mean, they always said about her, they never said, she's beautiful, she's this, that, and the other. Oh, it's always big, larger than life, fat Mama Cass, blah, 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 blah. Never said that about Pavarotti though, did they? No, never said that about Pavarotti. Or Enrico Caruso. No, never said that about him. Or your Mario Lanza. No, don't mention that. No. Perfectly okay when it's a man, but when it's a woman, you've got to keep banging on about it a bit, haven't we? Anyway, you got yourself down to 1974, which by then she'd split up from the Mamas and Papas. She had a baby by a bloke that was a guitarist. I think he was a session guitarist. And had a lovely little girl, and she got herself over to Britain. She was appearing at the Palladium in your London town. And she stayed in a flat owned by your Harry Nilsson in Mayfair. Harry Nilsson, he was like a musician, actor, big wig person of the sort of late 60s, early 70s. I mean, I don't remember him, but I was only a kid, but apparently he was somebody. So she's staying in his flat. And anyway, they found her dead. Yes, they did, and they said that she let herself to death. That's what they said. Yes, they did. And the coroner did a coroner thing on her. She had no drink, no drugs or anything in her system. She had no food in her gullet or in her stomach. Yet the papers, still even in death, had to make a big point that there was a sandwich, a ham sandwich on the side. The reason the ham sandwich was on the side is because guess what? I know it's really hard for journalists, you know, thinking and sort of complex ideas like rational thinking. But the sandwich was there because she didn't eat it. The sandwich doesn't mean anything. And I'll tell you another thing, YouTube, it's very interesting. Do you know, if you've got an overactive thyroid and it remains untreated, it's very likely to give you a heart attack. Did you know that? Yeah. A very lot of people with untreated overactive thyroid, you do end up dying young. She was only 33. I mean, don't take anything I've got to say because I'm just a stupid old bag, but I do think that we need to revisit your poor Mama Cass because I think that history's been a bit cruel to her. Yeah, not to mention the people at the time that were disgusting, fat shaming her the way they did. They should be ashamed of themselves. But there again, it's good because all those old dinosaur media, they've killed themselves, they've ate themselves, haven't they, really? Bloody stupid lot. Bless her, Mama Cass. She's up there with the angels now. Bless her. Poor old Mama Cass.